campus, but a windstorm last year destroyed some of the landscape. Now, students are working to restore what was lost. Also, it's the time of year for dry skin. See what steps you can take to avoid irritation.
Live from the campus of Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. Bringing you the news from around the world and across the river region. This is the Evening Edition.
It's almost Christmas, which means more people are using their credit cards. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jenna Moore.
And I'm Samuel Smith. With more people turning to online shopping, the chance for identity theft increases. Evening Edition's Hillary Lehue tells us how you can protect yourself this holiday season.
UC student Lewis Stafford thought he was getting paid, when in reality,
someone made a purchase from Kentucky, but they used my bank account and my last name and my home address and my address and all my information. They had everything.
Someone had hacked into his account and spent over $800.
How could this happen to me? Because you would think it's just so many people in the world. How am I that one statistic that for that day?
Stafford uses online banking for his Chase account.
If it's on a computer somewhere and it's on a network and it has internet access, then somebody eventually is going to get it.
Skip Tyndall is a computer repairman at KC Technologies in the Eastgate Shopping Center. He says many people don't understand the true consequences of computer sharing.
A lot of people, especially the students, use software that shares their computer over the internet, like LimeWire, FrostWire, BearShare, and there's probably 1,000 more of them out there. And basically, when you put that software on your computer, you allow up to 10 or 20 people to connect to your computer at any given time. And once you've allowed that over the internet, some people have software that can take control of your machine.
Tyndall says free is never really free.
If it's free, you're paying somehow.
In Carbondale, Hillary Lehue, Evening Edition.
Tyndall says it's also important to check websites for security verification like Veracin. SIUC campus is well known for its beautiful scenery, but some of that was destroyed last year during a powerful windstorm. But today, that's being restored. David Ades went in with more. David?
Well, the woods are a popular spot for students, runners, and wildlife observers. But after the May 8th storm of 2009, the landscape just isn't the same. But today, student volunteers set out to change that. The people I spoke with say they hope to make the area even better than before. Busy shovels, running trucks, and a lot of dirt. That's what people saw today while walking through Thompson Woods. That's because students and physical plant workers are busy getting their hands dirty while planting 150 new trees.
We're replacing a lot of the fallen trees and getting a lot of new species out here, a lot more diverse species, and just trying to make the woods look a little bit better.
About 25 species of trees were planted today to replace the trees lost in last year's May 8th storm.
We finally got it to a point where we can start to replant. In other words, hopefully reforest it to some degree so that in the future we have a more natural upland woodland setting.
Today's project was paid for entirely out of Chancellor Rita Chang's office, and student volunteers say the project will not only help them with their major by picking out which tree species should be planted, but they say it will also help restore the campus to what it once was.
I think it's really going to brighten up the campus in general. Just all that snag and stuff we had out here after that storm was kind of mostly a safety hazard as well as an eyesore.
It's more than a year and a half since the storm knocked down and killed so many of the woods trees, but since there was so much damage on campus, it took this long to finally start planting.
The roads and the sidewalks and the entryways were our first priority after the storm, but then as time went on, we did the groomed areas, we tried to get those cleaned up, and we're finally getting to some of these areas that are a little bit more difficult to attain access to.
And despite the wait, students say they're happy to finally dig in.
Better late than never, so I think we're doing the right thing. So.
The workers plan to be done planting the trees tonight, but it will definitely take a while for these trees to grow as big as the ones lost in the storm. Jenna, back to you.
All right, thanks, David. Craft lovers visited the SIU Student Center today to view local artist collections. Everything from pottery to Christmas ornaments were on sale. People were shopping for holiday gifts like jewelry. Many of the vendors have been to the show for years. The sale will run through Saturday. A former Southern Illinois Sheriff's deputy accused of sexually assaulting a teenager will get compensation from the county. The Saline County Board agreed to give Todd Fort of Harrisburg around $20,000 for vacation time and other earned benefits. Commissioner Bruce Tolley says the county is obligated by contract to pay Fort, who was re-signed in August. He also was re-signed to Harrisburg School Board President. Fort has pleaded not guilty and remains in jail.
The retirement age for Illinois police officers and firefighters is now up to Governor Pat Quinn. The Senate voted 46-6 today to raise the retirement age from 50 to 55. This would affect personnel hired after January 1st. If Quinn signs the legislation, new employees will see a cut in benefits, but current employees will not be affected.
Illinois legislators voted to keep a loophole in the state public information law, despite the governor's effort to close it. The issue whether or not to release performance evaluations for government employees to the public. Earlier this year, Quinn used his amendatory veto to change the legislation so that the public has access to all evaluations except those of police officers. Yesterday, the Senate voted against those changes with a 48-3 vote. House members did the same thing 2 weeks ago. Critics of Quinn's changes say supervisors might not be honest in their evaluations if they know the public might read them.
A West Frankfort woman is being held in Williamson County Jail on a $1 million bond. Becky Stodchill was arrested Tuesday on charges that she robbed a string of Southern Illinois businesses in the last few weeks. Police say she's wearing a Jason Halloween mask during the robberies. Stodchill is being charged with armed robbery and attempted armed robbery. Stodchill also faces charges for the holdup of a video store, a hotel robbery, and a gas station.
The first mass market electric cars go on sale this month, and the state leaders say they hope to put Illinois residents in the driver's seat. Earlier this year, Illinois Commerce Commission formed a committee called the Initiative on Plug-in Electric Vehicles. Utility companies are asked to respond by December 15th on how plug-in cars would affect Illinois electric grid. After that, a public meeting is planned for January. Regulators hope that Illinois will be a leader in the use of electric cars.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin is pushing a measure that will get rid of the mandatory purchase of flood insurance. Right now, residents in areas designated as high-risk flood zones are required to purchase flood insurance. Durbin says the bill introduced in the Senate yesterday will give those in high-risk areas time to upgrade river levees and deal with the possibilities of higher insurance costs. The bill also calls for a 5-year delay of mandatory insurance, followed by a 5-year period of steadily increasing premiums. Well, it doesn't look like the weather is going to warm up anytime soon.
It sure doesn't. 70 Fryer is in now with a quick look at weather.
You know what, Sam and Jenna, this winter weather is going to start coming in a little early, but we are going to have a beautiful day tomorrow. Tonight, though, it's going to get pretty chilly. We're dropping all the way to 24 degrees, but by the morning, we're going to see sunny skies and warm up to 35, and those sunny skies are going to stick around all day, and we are going to see about 45 as our high tomorrow. But like I said, winter weather is in our forecast for the next week. I'll let you know more about that, during my full weather forecast. Till then, back to you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Winter weather can be irritating in more ways than one.
After the break, find out what you can do to avoid unwanted skin problems during this dry season.
Newly elected governors from nearly 24 states during a luncheon this afternoon. The president called himself a very proud Democrat while noting he didn't have much company in the room. Last month, 18 Republican governors were elected compared to 4 Democrats and 1 independent. President Obama told the future governors his staff will be reaching out to them after they take office. Top military brass went before lawmakers today to discuss the Pentagon's review of the military's Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. The review, released this week, found allowing openly gay or lesbian troops to serve in the military would have little lasting impact on U.S. armed forces. The co-chairs of the Pentagon review said they believe the military will be able to adjust to a repeal. Senator Carl Levin, chair of the Armed Service Committee, agrees.
The report before us provides important new evidence that the time for a change has come. It demonstrates that for the vast majority of our troops, this change would be no big deal.
Ranking Committee member John McCain, however, said now is not the time to repeal the policy, saying any change should be the result of careful and deliberate consideration. He also criticized a survey of military members included in the review, saying only a fraction of the military members responded.
Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton says the U.S. will wind down its combat mission in Afghanistan. She also says officials will reconsider U.S. military presence in Central Asia at the Manas Air Base. The base has a key role of moving troops and supplies to Afghanistan. Clinton says that the U.S. and its NATO partners agreed last month to turn over control of Afghan authorities in 2011. She says the goal is to complete the transition by 2014.
The head of the UN nuclear agency says he cannot confirm that all of Iran's atomic activities are peaceful. Yukimi Amano says the Middle East is not cooperating with the International Atomic Energy Agency, and the Middle East continues to withhold information on its nuclear program. Iran has not been cooperative with the IAEA since 2008, a year after Israeli jets destroyed what the U.S. says was a nearly finished secret reactor designed to produce plutonium.
The cold temperatures and low humidity of the winter can worsen skin conditions. In tonight's Health Minute, Susan Hendricks reports on tips you can follow to keep your skin out of the cold.
How is your skin doing? Winter is coming.
People with skin problems often get flare-ups this time of year. Deidre Harper has rosacea, a skin disease that causes facial redness. Cold, dry air and holiday eating can bring on outbreaks.
And if you add the holiday parties with the not so perfect diet and a few glasses of red wine and maybe extra cup of coffee, then indeed that dietary element in rosacea unfortunately flares.
Acne patient Amy Melson says her skin often breaks out as the weather turns cooler. Dr. Perez suggests switching to different skin products.
But I think that we may want to think about using something that's maybe not as drying, because that can contribute to your breakouts.
Jennifer Crane's flare-up is on her scalp. She has psoriasis, an immune disorder that affects how fast skin cells turn over, leading to redness and plaques. Staying indoors affects patients.
Patients don't give us much light exposure, which is very beneficial as part of the treatment of psoriasis. So between the dryness and the lack of light exposure, patients very commonly will flare.
If you find your skin is bothering you, it may be the time and the season to see your dermatologist. For today's Health Minute, I'm Susan Hendricks.
Other helpful tips to keeping your skin healthy include moisturizing your skin regularly and putting on sunscreen. While the sun is more harmful during the summer, the sunlight reflected by snow can be just as dangerous.
Coming up after the break, Stephanie Fryer is in with your look at your local weather forecast.
And stocks stay strong after yesterday's 3-month high. Here's a look at your closing numbers.
And now the forecast for the River region. This is your Evening Edition weather.
Good evening and thank you for joining me tonight. I'm Stephanie Fryer with a look at your Evening Edition weather. Well, once we said goodbye to some early morning clouds, today turned out to be just beautiful here in Carbondale. And this beautiful weather is going to stick around, but enjoy it while you can, because starting early this weekend and into next week, we are going to be seeing winter come a little early. Right now, though, we are sitting in pretty warm still at 45 degrees, and this is why those winds out of the southwest are allowing us to see temperatures continue to be up into the 40s. Our high of the day did come in at 48 degrees. Our low came in earlier around 30 degrees, and believe it or not, last night some places around Cape Girardeau area saw flurries. So that allows us to have about 0.03 of an inch of precipitation so far for December. Looking at our current temperatures throughout the region, you can see 45 here and in Marion, along with Belleville also matching us at 45. Mount Vernon slightly cooler at 41 degrees, Paducah coming in at 44, and Cape still pretty cool from those flurries at 43 degrees. Looking at our national satellite, you can see that early morning cloud coverage we did see has pushed off east, and it's going to allow us to see some clear skies for the next couple of days. But these clear skies are going to come with a little bit of a price when you look at our current conditions map. As you can see, we are going to see this low pressure system move into our system, or move into our region, excuse me. And when it does, it is going to be bringing with it some extremely cool temperatures. In fact, we're going to see temperatures about 15 degrees cooler than what they were today, starting Saturday night and lasting, like I said, the majority of the work week. For tonight, though, expect to see clear skies, overnight low of 24 degrees. Tomorrow, though, the sun's back out for us, and we do warm up to the 40s again, coming in at 45 for a high. Looking at our tomorrow night, you can see we are going to be seeing some showers. These showers aren't going to start until after midnight, though, so we do have that going for us. An overnight low, though, dropping to 31 degrees, so we could see some flurries tomorrow night. Looking at the 5-day outlook, you can see Saturday, We do have that lights parade coming here in Carbondale. We are going to see cloudy skies with that, but we are going to still be in the 40s. Sunday, though, that's when that temperature starts really changing for us. Even though we are going to have sunny skies, it's going to be extremely cool starting Sunday through pretty much Wednesday of next week.
Okay, so this weekend's lights parade, the weather's going to be all right?
Yeah, Sam, like I said, we are starting to see those cool temperatures come in, but Saturday we're still going to be up in the 40s, but the next day, though, freezing cold. So it'll be nice for the lights parade, but the next day, not so lucky for us.
All right, thank you, Stephanie.
Yep.
The SIU men's basketball team was in action last night at the arena.
And today, soccer fans learned where the 2018 and 2022 World Cup will be played. Bryce Williams is in next with sports. Bryce?
That's right. 2 surprising nations were announced today to host a World Cup, and the SIU women's basketball team will be back in action looking for their second win in a row. See who the Lady Salukis will host.
And now the latest scores and highlights from across the River region. This is Evening Edition Sports.
The SIU basketball team was back in action last night as part of the Missouri Valley Mountain West Challenge. The Saluki men welcomed New Mexico to town for a Wednesday night matchup. Salukis kept the score close early on in the match, leading 19-17 with 11 minutes to go. The Lobos ran out to a 33-30 halftime lead, though, outscoring the Salukis 9-2 in the final 3 minutes. New Mexico then started the second half on the same run as well, en route to a 74-59 win. SIU starters struggled in the loss as the 5 combined for 19 points. Troy Long led for Salukis with 13 points. Kendall Brown-Searles, Mamadou Seck, and Carlton Fay all contributed 10 points. Coach Chris Lowry thought defense was a key in the loss as SIU did not close out on the New Mexico possessions.
We broke down too much late in the shot clock. I thought we guarded them well early in the shot clock. Late, we had too many breakdowns, and when you look at the shots we missed a lot of wide open shots, and we did a good job of getting what we wanted. We got to get our bigs going, both of them.
The SIU women will be back in action tonight after recording their first victory of the year Sunday night in a win against Austin Peay. SIU will welcome the Lady Billikens from St. Louis tonight, as SLU is currently 3-3 on the year. They have home wins against Morgan State and Murray State, and also have an impressive road win against Big Ten foe Indiana. The Billikens have fallen at home to Wisconsin and on the road to Arkansas State and SIU Edwardsville. SIU looks to continue controlling the boards tonight against SLU as well. SIU has out-rebounded their last 3 opponents by at least 9 rebounds. SIU currently ranks 3rd in the MVC in rebounding margin with a +4 average against their opposition. Salukis have averaged 13.8 offensive rebounds per game, which ranks 2nd in the conference. Action from the arena begins tonight at 7:05. Basketballs are flying across gyms, local gyms in Southern Illinois this week as high school basketball tournaments are in full swing. Last night at the Trico tournament, there were 3 games on tap. In the first game, the Stillville Warriors took on the Shawnee Redskins. Warriors stormed out to a 15-7 lead in the first half and never looked back in a 65-32 victory over Shawnee. Egyptian won the second game over Shawnee 74-58. And the Ferals outscored the Sparta Bulldogs 18-8 in the first to cruise to the victory. In the nightcapper, the Trico Pioneers won on their home floor against Redbud 61-46. The hosts for the 2018 and 2022 World Cup were announced today. Russia won the opportunity to host the 2018 World Cup. Russia has never hosted a World Cup before and has not made the tournament since 2002. Qatar was named to host the 2022 tournament. Qatar is the first country from the Middle East to host a World Cup, and Qatar has never made an appearance in the World Cup. Next World Cup is set for 2014, which is held in Brazil. Basketball star LeBron James is back in Cleveland this morning, only this time he will be wearing a Miami Heat uniform as the team takes on the Cleveland Cavaliers in James' former city. Cavs have beefed up securities for tonight games, and fans are urged to be classy. James used to be the toast of Ohio, but became the enemy to some fans over the summer when he announced he was leaving for South Beach to play with the Miami Heat. This is the NBA star's first trip back to Cleveland to play against his former team.
So Bryce, how do you think the women are going to do tonight at the basketball game?
I think Coach Schreiber really has the women playing well, and I hope to see them win tonight against St. Louis U.
All right, thank you, Bryce. Many families lost everything in a Atlanta tornado on Tuesday.
After the break, find out what one family found in the wreckage. Coming up next Monday on the Evening Edition, we'll take you to one southern Illinois county that has brand new sheriff cars but no one to drive them. And we'll have an update on those continuing furlough day discussions between SIUC administrators and several professor unions. Plus, the Saluki men's basketball team takes on Chicago State this weekend. We'll have the highlights. That's Monday night at 5 right here on the WSIU television stations.
People continue to recover after more than 50 homes were damaged in the Kirkstone subdivision in Atlanta when a tornado swept through Tuesday. A family thought they lost everything, found out they still had their best friend. Matthew and Reese Lee were working when the tornado hit, but their dog Kyron was still at home. The Lees thought that they had lost Kyron, but found their dog alive trapped behind a collapsed bathroom wall. City crews even helped with the rescue.
And Audi came. We're excited.
We're very happy now.
House is a house, but
Kieran could not be replaced.
And his white coat was still spotless. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jenna Morton.
And I'm Samuel Smith. For Stephanie Farr, Bryce Williams, and everyone here at the Evening Edition, have a great night.